Make some random comments based on whoever's listening, but he can't think of anything right now. He didn't take his meds, but that's okay.
I was watching old George Carver reruns last night. I didn't think anything was great. So I'll just play a good time.
Was that okay, Mom? Thanks.
That remains to be seen.
14 seconds.
Stephen, what's your last name, Steve?
Hi, I'm Steve Straight.
Steve Straight. Thank you. And let me go get with the other guys right now. And Bob, what's your last name?
Edgerly.
And Mike.
WEXLER.
WEXLER. Nice to meet you guys. Thanks for it's not easy to get all this stuff set up and actually working in 15 minutes. You guys.
We met you at the Carver Old Home Day.
We absolutely did, and this show has been long in the planning stage, and we've been waiting for it for quite a while. And let me face the camera. You guys are really tight. I know that you had said that I talked to Bob earlier, and Bob and Mike have been playing together for 25, 30 years. Like that, and apparently Steve was one of the musicians that's waiting out in front of Lowe's with, and he came along on Craigslist, and yeah, exactly. But you guys sound great. How did you guys start playing, Bob?
Basically, it was a blues jam a long time ago, and Mike and I didn't know each other, walked in the door. We just happened to get picked to get up and perform. You know, it's one of these things, a rotating type of list where you sign up. He looked at me, I looked at him. After 2 or 3 songs, let's exchange phone numbers and put something together. Here we are years later.
Outstanding. Yep, there's a pretty good chemistry, apparently. And
for a long time, I've been looking for a drummer that wasn't as good as me. So. And we've been picking at each other ever since.
This is one of the things life lessons. Never bring anyone on the job better than you.
It's amazing how nothing has changed. We still look at each other. What do you want to do? Oh, I don't know. What do you want to do? That's how the jam started. Right. We make up a list of about 125 songs. Yeah. It's sitting in front of Bob, and then we look at each other and go, what do you want to play? Right. And we wind up doing about 5 songs we never had on the list before every night.
Outstanding.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah. And again, Steve, where are you from?
I live in Dedham.
Yeah.
And I commute all the way down here to the South Shore because that's where all of our gigs are. It costs me $642 in gas every year, but it's well worth it.
Yeah. And my son is a bass player, so I know firsthand bass players are troublemakers, and that's just what happens. I don't know what happened. Yeah, so, right, the way they run. And Yep, we're late, we're this, we're that, we forgot our bass.
But the
yeah.
story, his group sessions that he can
Yep.
attend, I can hook you.
Yep,
An
absolutely.
interesting fact that we don't really ever remember too well because we're old. But actually, when I met Bob at that jam, I didn't know he was a drummer because he was fronting that night. He just got up and he sang. I didn't even know he played drums. That came later.
That's funny. And I noticed Steve has the absolute perfect personality to be out there harassing the audience. And that's very unusual for a bass player. They just like, right. And you're in Carver, so let the chips fall where they may. So, and again, welcome to Local Notes. This is Hard Case. This show has been planned for a while. Getting three guys together that works as much as they do is a tough get. But
We get free rides on the railroad?
oh yeah, you get
There we go.
and if one free.
$600.
Cranberry stuff.
Okay, whatever you want, you name it. Right.
used to be-
No red cranberries though.
Ocean Spray used to be a customer of mine. Yeah, and a manager at the time, he had all these bottles of seconds. You know, every time I come out, he'd throw them in my car. Then I'd have to go home and vacuum and, wash the car from all the leaks, but the rest of the stuff was good.
Well, it's good for your prostate.
It probably gave me diabetes.
This is just merely a statement by the band, no reflection on Ocean Spray or the opinions of CCAT.
We'd like to apologize to the Ocean Spray Company. And
We apologize to no one, that's right. Thank you, guys. You want to play another song, a few more songs for us? Sure. And like that, being as you're here and you brought all your stuff,
Are you sitting in?
I am going to go sit
you're
in,
gonna sit
out,
out
all right? Michael, take it away, thanks.
Okay. Okay, we're going to do a couple of songs that we did not write. In fact, we know about 150 songs that we did not write. And here's a couple of them.
And 4 that we did.
Pretty woman, walking down the street, pretty woman, what kind I'd like to meet, pretty woman. Why don't we you love the truth? No good look as good as you. Mercy. Pretty woman, pretty woman, and then you couldn't help but see, pretty woman, and then the itch came. That you look lovely as can be. Are you lonely just like me? Oh my God. Pretty woman, stop a while. Pretty woman, talk a while. Pretty woman, give you a smile to me. Pretty woman, yeah, yeah, yeah. Pretty woman, look my way. Pretty woman, say you'll stay with me. 'Cause I need you. I'll treat you right. Come with me, baby. Be mine tonight. Pretty woman, don't walk on by. Pretty woman, don't make me cry. Pretty woman, hey, I'll walk away. Hey. I would just like to point out that this is a very nostalgic event for me because I don't know if you can tell on TV, but we're playing here on the stage of the Carver Middle School, High School, Town Hall, Auditorium, main cafeteria, and Baptist Church complex. And, well, it just reminds me of my childhood, which which occurred in 1926 when I was just a boy. And those are such happy memories that I just wanted to save it. We didn't have electricity back then, but we made do somehow. Oh my God. That's the way it must be, okay. Thank you for letting me share. I guess I'll go on home, it's late. Well, we do all night tonight. What do I see? There's you walking back to me. Yes, you walking back to me. Thank you very much. Thank you. On the vocals. I think this is another song by a dead person. That's what we do.
Home.
son. Always be a good boy, Johnny. Don't you tell anyone what I shot a man in the Just watch.
Just the way Johnny wrote it.
Ooh, I hear wild applause.
Wow. Thank you. Thanks, Stephen.
Thanks, Bob.
Hey, man, this has been a lot of fun, and hopefully it's not over yet. Bobby, thank you. That was fun. Hey.
We'll stay on that.
All right, good. This is exactly what they want to hear, and you guys are absolutely phenomenal for as old as you are. You know?
And we're still up.
Exactly. Who would have thunk it? You know, like
So tell me, that movie, the Abraham Lincoln, the Vampire Slayer, you knew him.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He wasn't as honest as they say.
Good friends.
Yeah. Yeah. We had a little chat out in the, we call it the green room, it was actually the parking lot, Mike, and your roots seemed enormously interesting, and we only have a short amount of time to do this, but you said you came up out of San Francisco music scene, a lot of interesting stuff going on. In the good old bad days is what I like to call them. Give me a little flavor of what that was like.
The reason I left, too much drugs. It was great music, it really was. I knew a lot of people, I had a wonderful time. But if I leave a message, stay away from the drugs. It killed at least 6 good friends. I was lucky. How's that? Because these roots are mine. That's natural.
At least 6, at a bare
least
minimum.
6,
Yeah.
yeah. 3 of them quite famous.
Right.
Quite
right,
famous.
Yeah. So, and what coming up through the music scene, where did you start? What was your inspiration?
It was 3 Sunday nights a row. I want to think it was 1964. Ed Sullivan, Ringo, I was playing trumpet at the time. Bored out of my mind with it, and begged my parents for a set of drums. About a year later, I got them, and I never looked back. It was just, from there, it was classic rock at the time. I mean, I graduated in '69. So current hits back then were Purple Haze by Hendrix, Cream were up, they were hitting the charts, and The Who in their heyday, and just got immersed in the blues scene, and that's when Mike and I connected.
Yeah. those were absolutely incredible days. Not to be nostalgic or to, you know, say how old we are, but when I was a kid, I was about 5, I had a radio. Oldies weren't oldies then. It was still Bill Haley and the Comets, you know. 63, they were still relatively new stuff and scary new stuff. Rolling Stones and the Beatles, cool stuff. And it's hard not to be inspired.
All R&B influence,
right? And I went the other way with it. I started playing Bob Dylan songs and that kind of stuff, and now we do a lot of bluegrass and that kind of stuff. But
speaking of that, you just lost one of the greats, didn't you, Doc Watson?
Absolutely, and that was a conversation Mike and I had earlier. Mike had actually played with and partied and played with Doc Watson back in Philly, he said, at a place called the Second Fret, and the old Hootenanny days when everyone would get together Sunday afternoons and jam it up, and a lot of that was going on. That's, I think, where Dave Grisman and Jerry Garcia, we used to go and find these old guys and play with them, including, you know, Doc Watson and all the guys when they were doing their, you know, before, and Bill Monroe, and this is a lot of huge influence on those guys too. So, and again, one of the greats, Doc Watson. I lost one the same week was Levon Helm. He was a tremendous influence on me. We went and saw him at Newport about 4 years ago, I want to say. My son is a bass trombone player, and he was astounded. It was a 5-minute tuba solo. It was perfect. You know, he was like, he was wide-eyed, you know, starry-eyed, you know. And
drums and vocals. I mean, with Levon Helm, you're talking guitar, piano, mandolin, great mandolin.
Absolutely. The week he died, my wife works in a photo lab, and some pictures came through of him banging the bejesus out of a little mandolin, and you know he did. I have to say the band was one of the bands I saw the most, and Levon Helm was.
Was that, am I mistaken, right up till his death? Was he doing a lot of concerts out of his
He
mind?
did. He absolutely did. Right. Absolutely, and it was always one of our dreams to get up there.
They're carrying it on.
Oh, really?
Are they? Great.
Yeah, they opened it up, and now they have a regular.
Yep. So there you go. Get up there, because we thought about getting up there for years, you know, to go see it and to go, you know, go participate in it. And now, you know, don't hesitate. Get out there. And all these guys can say is no. You've met and played with a ton of people, and all they could actually say was no. We ended up backstage one night with Richie Havens, my two sons, and he brought his guitar out in the back and he played for us for like 10 minutes. And they don't say no. Jonathan Edwards, the same thing. I mean, these guys everybody's human. And what they said to me, I'd just be stressing out before the gig if I wasn't playing for you right now. So, you know, it's just, it gives them an outlet, and
I played with Tina Turner, and she did say no.
Wow.
But let's get the subject.
Now, Chihuahua.
Let's get the subject
All right.
on Ronnie Spector.
Okay, man.
Ronnie.
Ooh.
Get Steve talking.
Huh.
Ronnie.
Here we go. Yeah. So, what do we know about Ronnie Spector?
Ronnie is really old. In the 1960s, she was probably the second sexiest woman of all time. I'm going to withhold my opinion on the first, but yeah. My roots are pop. I got my start in an auditorium a lot like this, and there was a piano down there right about where that one was, and I had a friend who sat at the piano and played bread songs and, you know, Chicago ballads, and the little girls would sort of flock around and go, "Oh, David," and I said, I want that.
Want some of that action.
And he said,
Yeah.
"Well,
Yeah.
I need a bass player," and I didn't even know what that was, but I agreed because, you know, and that's how I get started.
Yep. That's one of the reasons I picked up the guitar too.
That's why we all do it, right?
Right.
Yeah,
Exactly. It was then. You know, it's not so much now. So anyway.
right.
But I'm glad to see you guys hooked up. Do you have any upcoming shows that you'd like to put out there?
We have 3,500 of them. Hardcaserock.net is our website. You can see our complete schedule. Okay. And you can see some of the propaganda that we've put out about ourselves, much of which is actually probably sort of true. Yeah.
When does this air?
Our actual first weekend off in months is coming up next weekend. We're off, which is a rarity for us. But our next gig will be Saturday, June 30th, the last Saturday of the month. It'll be in Marshfield at the Ming Dynasty.
Excellent, excellent. I'm glad. You guys are great. Get out there and play. This has been fun as hell. And I'm understanding we have one request from the control room. That's right, Smoke on the Water. smoke in the water or the show is over. My understanding, they are going to pull the plug unless we hear smoke in the water any second.
We'll close out with that one.
Thanks. Mike?
We have to do a couple before that because we need to warm up.
Thanks, Mike. Bobby, thank you so much. This has been a hoot.
Thanks, Bob.
Hey, you're really, for musicians, you guys are really nice. This is great.
As long as you do, okay?
You guys have a club with the ponytail thing. All right, we're gonna bang through a couple more, and then we'll break for lunch. No matter what you are, I will always stay with you. Doesn't matter what you do, girl, won't you? No matter what you say, there will always be a place. Can't you see it in my face, girl? Ooh, girl, won't you? Now tell the old gray wall, be a part of it all. Nothing to say, nothing to see, nothing to do, yeah. If you would give me all, I would give it to you. Nothing would be, nothing would be, nothing would be. No matter where you go, I will always stay with you. Doesn't matter what you do, girl. Ooh, girl, won't you? Now tell the old gray wall, be a part of it all. Nothing to say, nothing to see, nothing to do. If you would give me all, I would give it to you. Nothing would be, nothing would be, nothing would be. No matter where you go, I will always be with you. Doesn't matter what you do, girl. Ooh, girl, won't you? Ooh, girl, won't you? Ooh, girl, won't you? Went down to the crossroads, trying to flag it right. Down to the crossroads, trying to flag it right. Tell my baby gonna rock that riverside. Went down to the crossroads, went down on my knees. Down to the crossroads, went down on my knees, yeah. Well, come you, baby, take a little bit of mercy on me. Here I come.
good friend will arrive. You can know, you tell my good friend will arrive. When I was standing at the crossroads, I believe I'm sinking down.
We gotta do Richie's song now, right?
I'm gonna take this all home and Photoshop.
We know he's back there somewhere. We're gonna do one more. Thanks for watching. We are available for bar mitzvahs, provided that the bar mitzvah boy is over 40.
We want to thank you all very much for coming. Don't forget to tip bartender and your waitresses. It's been a great time here in Detroit tonight.
Do we know this? We all came out to Montrose on the lake beneath the shoreline. To make records with the mobile, we didn't have much time. Frank Zappa and the mothers rocking this place around. But some stupid with a flame gun burned the place to the ground now. Float on the water, fire in the sky. We're Hard Case, Mike, Bob, and Steve. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you around.